I never thought I'd be that person who writes a long story on Reddit, but I can't keep this inside anymore. This whole thing feels like something out of a movie, except it happened to me. I'm 26F, Ghanaian-British, born and raised in London. My parents, Arma and Kofi, moved to the UK in the early 90s. They're traditional, private people, the kind who believe family business stays in the family. Growing up, our home was quiet but tense. Loving, yes, but there was this unspoken heaviness that hung in the air. My parents rarely talked about life in Ghana. Every time I asked about relatives, they'd brush it off. They're all fine. We'll go one day. That one day never came. Instead, they sent money through Western Union every Christmas. For the family, Mum would say, eyes flicking away. I never questioned it until this year. It was a Thursday night. I'd just finished a call with my boyfriend when my mum phoned, sobbing uncontrollably. "Adwoa," she cried, using my Akan name, "your father, he's gone." Dad had been in Ghana for the first time in 25 years. He went for his cousin's funeral and collapsed during the reception. A heart attack. 2 days later, I was on a plane to Accra, my first time ever setting foot in Ghana. The moment I stepped off the plane, the heat and noise hit me like a wave. It was beautiful chaos, but it also felt alien. Like visiting a place I should have known but didn't. The funeral was huge. My dad was well known, respected. Everyone in the family seemed to know me or thought they did. Aunties hugged me, cousins whispered. But there was one woman who stood apart from the crowd, watching me silently. She looked about mid-40s. Sad, distant, like she carried a secret. That night my cousin Kwesi pulled me aside. "There's something you should know," he said, "but not today." I pressed him, but he shook his head. After the funeral, I didn't sleep that night. Something felt off. The next day I overheard 2 aunties speaking in Twi near the veranda. I only understand bits, but I caught this. Arma still hasn't told her, after all these years. How can she? The girl would never forgive her. My heart dropped. Told me what? At the funeral, the mysterious woman stayed in the background again. I asked my mum who she was. Her face tightened. "She's just a friend of your father's," she said sharply. It sounded like a rehearsed lie. That night I couldn't stop thinking. I went for a walk and heard voices in the kitchen, my mum, Auntie Efua, and that woman. The woman's voice trembled. "Arma, you promised. When he dies, you'll tell her. She deserves to know." My mum hissed, "And destroy her now. When she's grieving," the woman said. "I've been quiet for 26 years. I can't anymore. She has a right to know her sister." I swear my body went cold. Sister. The next morning I found the woman in the courtyard. "Who are you?" I asked. She looked at me with tired eyes. "My name is Akosua," she said, "and I'm your father's first wife." My world tilted. "What?" She handed me a small, worn photo, my father, younger, standing beside her in kente cloth. A little girl stood between them. "That's Abina," she whispered. "Your sister." My chest tightened. I had a sister. "Where is she?" I asked. "She lives in Kumasi," Akosua said. "She wanted to come for the funeral, but your mother said it would be too confusing." I realized, with a sick twist in my gut, my mother knew. The next morning I confronted her. "You knew about them. You've been lying to me my entire life." She cried, said she was protecting me, that she didn't want me to hate him. She told me the whole story. Dad married Akosua young. They had Abina. When he got a scholarship to study in the UK, he promised to send for them. Then he met my mum, fell in love, and never went back. When Mum discovered the truth, she was already pregnant with me. They decided to keep things quiet, sending money to Ghana, pretending the first family didn't exist. I was disgusted. "You let me grow up thinking we were perfect. And he had a whole other family," she sobbed. "He thought it was better this way." "Better for who?" I spat. I couldn't stay in that house anymore. Akosua offered to take me to Kumasi. I agreed. It was a long, hot drive, and we barely spoke. When we arrived, a young woman came out of the house, tall, caramel skin, our father's eyes. Abina. We stared at each other for a moment before I hugged her. She whispered, "I used to see your pictures. Dad showed me." "He did," she nodded. "He wanted us to meet one day, but he never got the chance." We spent hours talking, laughing, crying, realizing how similar we were despite our worlds being different. That night we found an envelope in Dad's old briefcase. It said, "To my daughters, Adwoa and Abina, read this together." Inside was a letter. "My beautiful girls, if you're reading this, I am gone. I tried to protect you both by keeping you apart, but that was my greatest sin. Adwoa, your mother is not your enemy. Abina, your mother is my foundation. You both carry her strength. Please forgive me and forgive each other." By the time we finished reading, we were holding hands and crying. Back in Accra, Abina stayed with us. Things were tense but healing slowly until she told me something new. Dad said he changed the papers for the family land in Kwahu. He wanted it in both our names. She showed me the document. Our names were written side by side, then a note on the back: build something together, make peace from what divided us. It made me cry. But when my uncle found out, everything exploded. He claimed the land belonged to the family and accused us of forgery. A few days later, we heard someone had broken into the property and stolen the original documents. I knew it was him. That's when I noticed something at the bottom of my father's letter, a faint line. If the papers are ever lost, look in the place where I first met your mother. Mum told us they'd met at Koolbu Hospital. She was a trainee nurse. He worked on a construction project. We went there together the next day. She led us to an old courtyard. This is where he first spoke to me, she said softly. Then I saw it, a small, dusty plaque under a tree. Kofi MENSAH Civil Engineer 1994 Project Team. May this place heal as it healed us. I knelt down and brushed the dirt off. Hidden in the cement base was a small metal latch. Inside, a waterproof envelope. It held a copy of the deed, a letter, and a photo of all of us, Mum, Akosua, Abina and Dad, together, smiling. His final letter said, I planted this tree when Amma said yes to me. Every time I came to Ghana, I watered it. If you find this, know that I wanted you all to share what I could not. Take care of each other. Build peace. The duplicate deed saved us. Legally, the land was ours. Instead of fighting, Abina and I decided to use it for something meaningful, a community health clinic. We called it the Mensa Wellness Center. At the opening ceremony, both our mothers stood side by side, holding hands. For the first time, there was no tension, just peace. He wanted us to build something together, Abina said in her speech. And we did, I added. We both cried. Dizzy 1 year later, the clinic is thriving. Abina runs it full-time in Ghana. I handle fundraising from London. Inside, a quote from our father's letter is painted on the main wall. Build something together. Make peace from what divided us. Sometimes I still think about all the lost years, the birthdays, the childhood moments we missed. But I've learned something powerful. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, it redeems it. When I visit Ghana, people call us the Mensa sisters who turned pain into healing. And every time I hear that, I smile. Because somehow, through all the lies, loss and heartbreak, my father did give us something real in the end. He gave us each other.